What is the Federal Reserve? The Federal Reserve, often called the Fed, is one of the most powerful institutions in the United States. It's also one of the least understood. People know it has something to do with money, interest rates, and maybe Wall Street, but ask the average American what the Fed does, and you'll likely get a shrug. That's not surprising. The Fed functions in complex, jargon-filled ways that can seem intentionally unclear. However, its decisions impact all aspects of daily life, from credit card interest rates to mortgage affordability. So what is the Federal Reserve exactly? The Fed is the United States Central Bank, created in 1913 after a series of devastating financial panics. It was designed to stabilize the banking system and provide a safeguard against the boom and bust cycles that frequently wrecked the economy. Its responsibilities have grown since then, but today the Fed has three main jobs: manage inflation, promote employment, and ensure financial stability. The most visible way the Fed shapes the economy is through setting interest rates. When the Fed raises rates, borrowing becomes more expensive. But the Fed does far more than adjust rates. It regulates banks, oversees payment systems, and acts as a lender of last resorts during financial crises. In 2008, when the housing market collapsed and major banks teetered on the edge of failure, the Fed stepped in with massive emergency lending programs to keep the system from imploding. In 2020, when the COVID-19 pandemic shut down large swaths of the economy, the Fed pumped trillions of dollars into financial markets to prevent mass unemployment. Critics argue the Fed is too powerful and too unaccountable. Its leaders are unelected, yet their decisions can move markets, determine the affordability of housing, and shape the future of the economy. Some believe the Fed is too cozy with Wall Street, protecting financial elites at the expense of ordinary workers. Defenders, however, insist the independence is the point. Politicians, they argue, would misuse monetary policy for short-term gain. Whatever your view, the reality is that the Fed sits at the center of America's economic system. It doesn't answer to voters, but it affects voters' lives as much as, in some cases more so than, Congress or the president. To understand who really has power in America, you can't ignore the institution that literally manages the money supply.